All right, everyone, welcome back to West Coast Weekend, the marathon showcasing speedrunning talent of the West Coast. I am your West Coast host, SmoothOperative, and next up we have Prince of Persia 2008 by the amazing, wonderful, fantastic emeraldaly. Hi, Ali. How are you doing?
Butter me up a little, why don't you?
Oh, I don't mind.
Yeah.
You been practicing?
Yeah, I had a couple of really nice practice runs yesterday and today. Didn't have the timer going. I was kind of pausing in between tricks too, so I don't know quite what the time was, but I feel okay about it.
Good. Well,
ready to go?
Yeah, I've seen you run this, and I know it's quite a treat. So whenever you're ready, we can start the countdown.
Yeah, the timer, the rules on timing were changed recently, so the timer starts at the end of the opening load screen now. I can't really count it in.
Oh,
so
okay. So I guess we'll look out for that.
Yeah, we'll have to just hit the button and go when we go. So this is Prince of Persia 2008 Epilogue. It's the console-exclusive DLC episode to Prince of Persia, the 2008 game, the reboot, the cel-shaded game. I think it's cel-shaded.
Very stylish.
Start timer. All right. And this, as the name Epilogue would imply, takes place after the main game, where our friend Elika is mad at us for bringing her back to life. Trust me, it makes sense in context. And she's running away from us, and we have to catch up to her at this point. This part is really just very simple, basic parkouring mechanics that you would know like the back of your hand if you've played the base game, which I would imagine you would if you've got the Epilogue installed. Oop, that happens sometimes. Trying to catch up with her. Hi, Eraser. Thank you so much for being here.
Now, Ali, you did mention this is console exclusive, correct?
Yes.
Okay, just double checking.
Yeah, just 7 Eraser 7 in the chat is one of the leaders of the Prince of Persia community, of which I haven't always been the best member, so it's very nice to see him here. Thank you so much for being here, Eraser.
Love the community support.
Yeah, and this black ooze drenched figure is Elika's father, the Morning King. Why he looks like that also makes sense in context if you've played the base game. It's a little too complicated to explain. Well, I guess I can give the short version. He made a deal with the devil to actually bring Elika back to life the first time. The first thing we have to do here is roll over to Elika to revive her. Without her, we cannot win in combat. And we do the charge mechanic towards the enemy, which is unique to the Epilogue DLC. It's not present in the base game. Every time I play the base game, I wish it was.
Are you all right?
And it momentarily stuns the enemy, takes them out of any buff state they may have been in, and once they're stunned and debuffed, we unleash an unblockable combo. That actually wasn't even the entire combo. We'll fight the Morning King 4 times. We'll do the whole combo in the second fight. We'll do 2.5 combos in the third fight because he has more health. And the final fight is a little different. As long as you start at the correct point on this initial parkouring sequence, you can pretty much just pedal to the metal your way through it. There's one point where I will probably have to stop, but in one of my practice runs I didn't, which was very strange. These, I call these smoke pillars. These are the soldiers of Armin. They will eventually spawn an enemy, or you can just attack them while they're still a smoke pillar. That's too soon. And the enemy won't spawn. Yeah, when I run this game at events that take donations, I always do like $5 a death or something like that. And there's also various costumes that the Prince and Elika can be equipped with. Whenever I do this at a donation event, I will, offer that as a donation incentive too, but we'll just go with the defaults this time. That's actually the spot where I would have had to wait. I think it's because I died that I didn't, so we'll just keep on going.
So, Ali, these costume selects are something that you would choose, like, at the beginning of the speedrun?
It's in the menus before you, load the save file. Yeah.
I gotcha.
But here's a somewhat recent innovation. You see that soldier there? We're not even going to bother with him. We're just going to jump around him. There's 7 soldiers of Armin. We will completely skip, I believe it is 4 of them. 3 of them right in a row, too. Now we're going to play Wall is Lava. Jump on the wall and just jump right off. Doing that only saves about a second over normal parkouring, but it looks cool. And hey, a second saved, second earned. This is by far the easiest soldier skip in Before Dead. Alright, good. Tricky skip here. Let's see if we can get it quickly. That's the first part. We're not out of the woods.
Let's go. Keep doing that.
I've never quite timed out how much... Okay. That's slightly suboptimal, but it's still faster than going through all the parkouring that you're supposed to do to get to that point. I've never quite timed out how much that saves, but it's pretty substantial. Another little... You know, you can call it a skip if you want to. It's really just kind of being smart in how you get to where you're supposed to go. You don't go forward into the corrupted air, you just scale the wall in front of it.
Well, Allie, if you spend too much time like in front of the enemies that spawn, don't you get kind of locked in usually, like if you're in a casual play?
Well, if you don't attack the, as I call it, smoke pillar,
okay,
before the enemy spawns, it will be a full-on fight, and you have to either whittle down their HP, or pin them against a wall, or throw them off a drop. Which isn't hard, but it is time-consuming, and actually if one of them does spawn, that's one of the things the Prince can say when he defeats them is, "You're just going to slow us down, not stop us." And it's like, it's a speed run, that's just as bad! Yeah, I knew that would happen. Sometimes that wall just decides you don't deserve to live, and you can just fall off of it.
You must be careful.
It usually only happens once, though. Trust me, I didn't want to grip fall there. The game decided it for me. Big skip here. You are not supposed to reach this disc in the center of the room nearly that fast. You're supposed to do a lot of complicated parkouring around the room to reach this fight. This is the warrior. We do that, we go through his legs, and after some testing, I realized that he will almost never parry you in this fight. You can just slash at him to get him to the edge. I had been doing charges and Elika combos, which, though consistent, are very slow. Instead, he can do just, what was it, like 6-7 sword slashes? Much faster. He will parry you in the other fights, though. Oh, crap. That's not good. I messed up the QTE.
You know you can fight Araman.
Luckily, messing up a QTE against the hunter is not quite as big a deal, because you can just throw this guy around.
Araman can't be stopped.
There we go. That's a small time loss, but not catastrophic, because... There we go, he's dead.
We should move on. He will only send more servants to stop us.
You told me they were dead.
Araman is creating creatures from the corruption, but he must still be weak. He's using forms he's familiar with, ones he can create easily.
So those weren't the corrupted?
They had no souls.
I see a question in chat, what does epilogue any % mean? This is not the core game of Prince of Persia 2008. This is a DLC episode that was released only for the console versions of the game. So that's what it means. It's that campaign. And it's mostly similar to the base game, but the major difference is that it's totally linear, whereas the base game is quasi-open world. So where you have to go and what you have to do is a lot more set in stone. And it makes it conducive to some pretty cool speedrunning tricks, I must say. I say as I reach a part where we just have to go through the very slow, normal way. Okay, I'm almost positive I could have made the previous cycle. Almost hit that blob. I was a little scared to try it. I did it in one of my practice runs and it worked fine, but I don't know. A little scared just now. Let's just make sure we get there. All right.
Keep doing that.
All right, we're supposed to slide down that wall on the inside of it, but why don't we go out of bounds instead? Doesn't that sound like fun?
That sounds like great fun. I think we should do it.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much time this saves because it is kind of a convoluted setup, but it looks really cool when it goes right. Make sure a blob isn't coming for us. That might not have been far enough right. I might have to do this over again. Because you move the prince to the right while you're out of bounds and he moves back left on his own. Okay, actually that was perfect. Awesome.
I didn't have any doubts.
I'm gonna wait a cycle here because I'm scared. All right. You can go on pretty much any cycle in this little hallway here because you can, to a certain extent, delay the amount of time you're in midair before hitting the Elika button to do a double jump, so lots of different cycles work. I just kind of waited for the easiest one there.
At least you know what to look for.
Yeah. All right, so we are coming up on the hammam, which has... It's the reason my PB for this game is 38:24. It's the reason my estimate is 47 minutes, almost 10 minutes beyond my PB, because if I miss the skip that's coming up here, I have to load the save file, and I lose 2.5 minutes in doing that, in addition to obviously making the run invalid. So let's hope it goes well. I did it 3 times in practice yesterday and today. I was 3 for 3, so hope that's a good sign. Yeah, no light seeds. That is so true, Eraser. And it's interesting when you pull up the menus for Epilogue, it's under like a bonus content menu, and it's not lit, fam. Always have to do that. You hit this menu that says bonus content, and this is just one item on it, so it's like, I don't know if they thought there would be more DLC for this game, but there wasn't. This game wasn't really that well received. It got like 6s and 7s in the reviews, I think. Probably why the only sequel it got was well, I call it a sequel, but it actually came out the exact same day. A DS game that very few people know about.
Oh wow, I didn't actually know about it.
Yeah. It's called The Fallen King. I think it's The Fallen King. I know it's TFK.
Quickly, while the power holds.
Alright. So we've used the... I forget what it's called, but the purple power plate, which introduces these temporary magical walls. It's exclusive to the DLC, and it's also a plot hole. Because the idea behind these power plates is that they represent the powers that Elika's people, the Aura, used eons ago to help them rule the land. And you can almost buy that with the ones that throw you around the room and whatever and help you reach places you couldn't reach without them. But eons ago, why would they have had the power to restore ruins? This doesn't make sense to me.
Food for thought.
Okay, mom skip coming up. I would appreciate all of your best vibes. Because this is either going to go fine or it's going to go horribly. Not much middle ground. There's another skip later on that's kind of like that, but there is a backup for that one. There's no backup here except doing the room the normal way. This is not the camera angle I want. Okay. Oh, you have no idea how big a relief that is. The idea is you're not supposed to reach that power plate until you've drained all the ooze out of the room. By reaching it out of sequence, the game assumes you have turned all the levers and drained all the ooze. So when you reach the floor, the ooze is just gone.
Very nice, Allie.
Yeah. I am so relieved to get that first try. That pretty much guarantees we'll be at least somewhat underestimate.
Nice, nice.
Second fight with the shapeshifter. Just roll to the right and position him towards the drop. You can sword slash him here too, but he's a lot more likely to parry you in this fight. So that's why I only did it with the last couple to get him all the way to the drop. There we go. That's what the combat's supposed to look like. It's supposed to look like as little actual combat as possible. Bye-bye. And we can just, like, jump off, because that's funny.
That's it. Take whatever form you want. You're still finished. Don't you see? If he's trying to stop us, he's scared of something. He's scared of you.
I can't stop him.
That's not what Ahriman thinks.
I haven't the power to stop him. Only Ormaz can do that.
All right. And there was that wall earlier in Water Tank that sometimes just kills you because it feels like it. Sometimes that right there will also kill you. I'm not sure I've ever seen it force me out of the grip fall without killing me, so that's interesting. Hashtag that's never happened before.
Oh boy.
Alright. One little sneaky bit of movement tech here is you don't have to climb up this fissure, you can just immediately jump away from it. And with the double jump and the scamper up the wall, you're here. And this is a pretty good cycle to go on. Had to wait for that one blob. Not too bad. Coming up in a bit is Garden. Garden has a really silly skip in it. And it has a slightly less silly backup skip if I can't get the main skip. I didn't practice the backup at all, so hopefully we'll get the substantial skip.
Allie, we have someone in chat saying that they played this game a lot. How many hours would you say you put into this game here?
I honestly have no idea.
Too many.
I don't even keep splits for this game when I run it myself. I just start and stop the timer. So I wouldn't even have like a splits file or anything like that to look at.
Many, many hours.
Probably into the hundreds, I would certainly say. I don't think it's beyond that, but yeah, definitely lots of practice, lots of runs. I first saw this run, it was actually a marathon run that was the world record for a long time by Epic Dude Guy, otherwise known as Robbie.
Robbie, yeah.
Oh, is that gonna, oh, that's bad. I hesitated for just a second there, and that cost me like all the time in the world.
Aww.
That's bad. Okay, let's just do this right and wait for the correct cycle. Yeah, I hesitated just a moment there. If I had gone right away, it would have been fine. Anyway, Robbie's run. It was a marathon run. I'm not sure what the event was, but he got like a 39:17, which is not too shabby at all, especially since he spent some of the time in that run with the timer going, changing menu options.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, I saw the run for the first time there, and I was just like, wow, this has so many awesome tricks in it. I want to do this run because I had this game on PS3 and I had the epilogue because I just really enjoyed the game. Ooh, that was actually getting close to killing me in the corrupted air. That's almost impossible, really. And yeah, this was actually the first game I ever bought from the PlayStation Store. Oh, that almost got me again.
Would you say that this is your main speed game, or do you have others?
I try not to have a main speed game. I
That's fair.
want to, I want to be really diverse in what I'm offering. And actually, funny story, the day after the submissions for West Coast Weekend closed, I quit running this game.
Oh my god.
For reasons we don't really need to get into, but when the schedule came out and I saw, I think Muffins pinged in one of the Discords, was like, congratulations to emeraldaly, and there's like one other person's like, oh great, hopefully Mulaka got in. I checked the schedule, it's like, oh, isn't that ironic? But I don't know, it's I always wanted to get a slightly better time than I had. My PB isn't bad, but it has a lot of apparent mistakes in it. That's the first part of the big skip. Need a little serious time here.
Sure.
Okay, this is completely wrong. So let's try that again. Oh no! This is a soft lock because I was inside the. Oh, that's bad.
Oh, acrobatics too hard, causing the soft lock.
It's because I did the airwalk I finished the airwalk inside of the tower. I did it too short. I didn't think I did it too short, but I did. Luckily, I do have a save file pretty much right there.
Has that happened to you often, or?
It's never happened to me without me doing it on purpose.
Oh, they're getting a little too fancy with their acrobatics today.
Yeah, I tried that once just to see what would happen if I ended the airwalk inside the tower, and yeah, you just stay in that state forever. It's a total soft lock.
How big
It
I was
happens.
trying to count audio cues. I thought I got it right, but we'll try it again.
Boot it up. We'll
Let's
try
see
it
what
again.
those cranks do.
Yeah, this is a very, you know. Let me just for a second.
Sure.
There we go. All right. Well, it's too bad we had to load the save file, but I mean the run wasn't going to be a PV anyway, so it's fine.
One of the bars has moved.
We're good. We're chill.
Let's use the
Chill
plane.
West Coast vibes.
Yeah. West Coast, best coast.
Oh yeah. I have a question for chat. Those of you who do live on the West Coast, what is your favorite thing about living on the West Coast? My favorite is no snow.
Yeah, where I live, we either get no snow or we get absolutely buried in it. There's no in between.
Aw.
Because I'm a lot further north than you are. I'm a lot further north than basically anybody in the United States, certainly on the West Coast. I think Maine's further north than me, but on the West Coast.
That's moved the
I think
second
it snows maybe
Thanks.
2 days out of the year here in Oregon.
Okay, so that last jump there is just kind of a skip anybody can do, really. You're supposed to pull 3 rings in this room. Number 2 and number 3, as I get them, are just
That's it.
really close together. And if you know where to jump, you can just jump straight from one to the other. There's not really even any trick to it. All right, second fight with the Morning King coming up.
Together.
You can't just jump straight down. If you jump straight down from up above, it's too high and you'll die, and Elika will have to save you. It's really silly. You have to grip fall down a little bit, and then we have our opponent rising from the ooze.
He can seek her, but he's not going to get her.
It is you he seeks. State your wish.
I wish you and Armin would go swallow yourself.
Okay, he's gonna charge at us. Roll to the right. Unleash our combo. This will be the full combo this time.
Finish this! Now, Elika! Finish this!
Now, the unblockable combo is really nice to have because if you don't have an unblockable combo, he'll parry most of the sword hits you do. And it's possible to stay in the fight with parries, but I've never been very good at them, so best to just bypass that whole thing.
I mean, yeah. Get good at what you're good at.
Yeah, and that little roll to the right I did at the beginning of the fight, that is so... it still would have killed him in one combo if I hadn't done that roll, but based on where the Prince and the Morning King are in the room when the fight starts, if you don't roll to the right, the Morning King will end up pinned against a wall, and you have to do the wall mini event, even though his HP bar is already empty, and it's about a 10-second time loss.
And we don't want that, yeah.
Yeah, it takes like no time to just roll to the right once, so very easy to avoid.
And I was going to say we should just hold hands and...
Prince of Snark.
He is actually pretty snarky.
There's been some effort expended to get this running in an emulator. PS3 emulation is just barely starting to become a thing, and if that ever does, I would love to see like some kind of debug mode in this area specifically to see what this area looks like when it's obvious which way is up and which way is down. It's obviously not meant to be seen that way. It's meant to be this, you know, kind of auto-scroller where you're just running around these obstacles, but just to see what it would look like, I think would be really interesting.
Oh, definitely. That is cool, though, that they're starting to get that going.
Yeah, it's been pretty hit or miss. Yeah, and these are not quite as brain dead as I initially thought. You know, when I first started running this game, it's not hard at all to die here. You really have to, you kind of have to know where the obstacles are going to be before getting to them, or just have superhuman reflexes in order to get through this perfectly first try. And these like scratches on the wall you might see, they indicate a path through the obstacles that does work, but it might not necessarily be the best or easiest path. And if you noticed, I did divert from it a couple of times.
Keep doing that! Get back!
This is actually my favorite move, like the power, what would you call this, the power rush? It's like stop,
I just call it charging.
Charging, there you go.
Yeah. And at the beginning of this fight, most of the charges are scripted. Whether you can charge at the enemy or the enemy at you, this one is certainly scripted. The warrior will always charge at you. There's 2 or 3 of them that are what I call charge rolls, where it could go either way. The next one is a charge roll against the hunter. That's a little slower when the hunter charges at us rather than us at him, but not that bad. We just do our throw combo, he's at the edge and he's done. And we can immediately jump out.
It doesn't matter what you try, Armin. You're not going to stop us. First you offer me gold, then you try to kill me. Those are sort of mixed messages.
All right.
A tomb. I hope that's not an omen.
This run is usually pretty good for events that take donations because there's all these cutscenes peppered throughout. They're unskippable, but they're not very long, so it's a pretty good opportunity for a host to jump in with $5 greetings from Germany or whatever.
I mean, I can jump in with a few questions for you, Ali. We had some questions from the chat. How long have
Absolutely.
you been? Yeah, how long have you been speedrunning, and you know what kind of got you into it as a whole?
About 5 years now, and
These places give me the creeps.
really this is actually a good area to just talk a little, because what is going on here is totally brainless. We are just moving these wall sections into place so we can jump on them by turning these levers. But yeah, about 5 years, and what got me first interested in speedrunning and also Twitch in general, I don't know what I was watching on YouTube at the time, but I came across a YouTube video of a streamer called Lobos Jr. and I saw his like face cam in the corner of the screen in the thumbnail and thought, wow, he kind of looks like a guy I work with. Isn't that interesting? Let's see what he's all about. And he was speedrunning. Of course, if you know Lobos at all, you know what he was speedrunning. He was speedrunning Dark Souls, and I watched that and I was like really impressed. So I watched a ton more of his VODs, and that's really what sort of broke the dam a little bit. Lobos isn't really so much into speedrunning anymore, but still watch him all the time. Been subbed him for like 6 years. It's kind of crazy.
I think last I checked, he was working on that big Dark Souls sound pack. Redubbing all the Dark Souls sounds.
Oh yeah. Lobos SFX, with his own voice and the voice of his brother did a few, and I think some friends are involved in it too. But yeah, that's quite the undertaking, and it's pretty goofy stuff, I must say, and I love hearing it.
So that begs the question, Allie, when are we getting a custom dub of Prince of Persia?
Well, this is a console game, so never, but...
But I mean, anything's possible once it gets to the emulator.
Yeah, I don't know if I have that in me.
Aw, I had to ask.
Yeah, we have some more wall sections to turn, which I've always felt like this sort of, not that it's a huge deal, but kind of violates a rule of good game design. You always want a game world to feel like it doesn't exist just for the player, and this absolutely feels like it exists just for the player.
Oh yeah, big time.
But yeah, we're turning some more wall sections. Are there any other questions you're interested in?
Oh, well, I guess, do you have a favorite speedrun right now? Like, I know you said you're very diverse in the games that you play, but...
Certainly try to be.
Is there anyone that you just, like, you really just love it?
Probably my all-time favorite speedrun I've ever done, and I have to humble brag a little bit, is the run I did at AGDQ 2018, Infamous First Light.
Aww.
That game is just so deliriously fast-paced. Fetch's major power in that game is just... lightning speed doesn't even do it justice. She makes the Flash look like a snail with how she runs.
Wow.
And the combat is just really fun, and there's not a lot of glitches in that run, but we have some really cool optimizations and a couple of small skips.
Sometimes I think it's like almost more impressive to see a glitchless run, because it's like, I think as a viewer and a casual player of a game, you can follow it a little bit easier, and it makes you appreciate the speed run, because it's like, wow, they're going so fast in comparison to my casual run. But Infamous in particular is a game that I've always wanted to play. I've never played it.
Okay, sorry for the silence there, but I really needed to concentrate on that fight.
Oh yeah,
There's
no
a
problem.
lot of inputs, and if you get even one wrong, everything goes off script.
Always run away. We are getting Let's get out.
One of the little pieces of tech there was block canceling in between combos. The combo does more damage with each hit you do, but the final hit is like super cinematic and really long, so by block canceling, you can end the combo early. Get off of there, Elika. You can end the combo early and start a new combo, and it's better DPS.
Nice.
More serious time, please. Because I need to count audio cues.
We're getting close. We are almost through this place.
Okay. Yeah, you have to count 38 steps on that airwalk without seeing anything, so appreciate the opportunity to just do that.
Oh, yeah, no worries. Please tell me to shut up anytime you need me to.
It shouldn't be an issue the rest of the run. Final fight with the shapeshifter. We're able to charge the... can I do... no, I can't. But I can do that. Alright. Yeah, in the base game run of this, which I saw the world record holder Smathwax in chat a little earlier, there are some even longer airwalks where you just have to count, like really, really long airwalks, where you just have to count audio cues. There's one that's over 100 steps, if I recall from memory.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that one was 38. And there's a little tiny glitch here I'll just show off for funsies. If you jump out of the room early, that happens.
Close.
You get taken to the back of it. No idea why. To avoid that happening, you would wait to jump out of the room until the first line of subtitles appears on the bottom of the screen for the prince's dialogue. It's not gonna work. I went way too late, frankly.
You must be careful.
What is going on here? This is awkward. There we go. Definitely gotta wait for the tentacle there. Oh, that's not cool. That's not cool.
See?
Usually if you wait for the tentacle, the blob is not right there. I guess I'm on a weird cycle I'm not really used to. Alright, I'm gonna do this safe as heck. We're waiting for the tentacle, and the blob is still there. This is another spot where if you go at the right time, you can pretty much just go. And I'm so totally not gonna do that. There we go. I might have been able to make that, but I don't know, scary.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, all these little blobs and tentacle monsters, it's terrifying.
Small skip here that I'm really quite bad at, but I got. That only saves about 10 seconds. Just saves a little bit of running around. Alright. And this drop here, I always used to grip fall into it, but since it starts with a cutscene, even though it's a long way down, you can just jump.
We can get out through there. We will have reached the other side of the hills. They'll shelter us from Arlen for a while.
Okay. The final fight with the Morning King, there's 3 phases. In the first phase, you don't have Elika's help, so you need to charge him, win the QTE, and throw him off. If you don't get this right away, rip run. Because, and I've said it throughout, that the king will parry most of your sword hits. I think he parries straight up all of them in this phase. So positioning him the right way takes minutes if you don't get it right there. Well, maybe not minutes, but probably a minute.
Allie trying to exaggerate a little.
It's a little easier on this floor since you have Elika's help. I'm gonna back off a little bit just so I can do another charge. That is strictly speaking not necessary, but it's a lot more consistent. Now we knock him down to the bottom level of the ballroom for the 3rd phase. You may have heard Elika saying that the sword can't hurt him and the magic can't hurt him, and indeed, you don't see his HP bar going down. So we can't hurt him. We can't hurt him. We're just totally screwed. None of our attacks can hurt him. But apparently, spikes on a throne can hurt him. I've never quite understood this.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. This cutscene has a tendency to have a giant frame rate dip. Yeah, right there. Sometimes it doesn't happen. Alright, so no more fighting, just parkouring left. Run hasn't been too bad, definitely a few mistakes, but for a marathon, hey.
Well, sometimes the mistakes make it unique and special.
Yeah, just a lot more fun for for everyone.
Chill West Coast vibes.
I always use that sunglass emoji when I'm talking about this event.
Yes. Can we
West
get
Coast, best
Can
coast.
we get some sunglasses emojis in the chat?
Yeah, the name for it is actually confident, which makes no sense to me, but that's what you would put in between the colons for it. It's
So
confident.
look for it. I typed sunglasses and realized it was just a pair of
Yeah,
sunglasses.
that just shows the sunglasses. Yeah, the one I'm talking about is the confident.
Confident. West Coast speedrunners over here.
Cool cat is good too. I like cool cat.
Cool cat works.
All right.
A lot of confident chatters. I like to see it.
Oh, yes, me
Styling,
too.
yes.
Oh, the easy as well. That's another good one.
Oh yeah, we do have easy in here.
Don't play fair, do they?
All right, this is the last parkouring sequence. Time is in about 2.5 minutes, so
Is he here?
be aware, but it's not imminent. And one thing I never mentioned that thankfully I will have one more opportunity to show is, well, actually a couple more opportunities, but one of them is meaningless. But one of the ways you really turn a good time into a great time for this game is by shorting ring runs. And it's probably my favorite strat that I've ever... I didn't find it myself. One of the other runners clued me into it, but the game tells you not to do it explicitly in the loading screens. It says, always finish a wall run after doing a ring, but instead, just go through a ring and immediately jump off. And you can still land where you're supposed to. And doing it once doesn't save much time, but doing it every possible time throughout the run is probably 10-15 seconds.
Oh yeah, it adds up.
And I just love that the game explicitly tells you not to do it. I will also short this ring run. This one doesn't actually save time. I just think it looks cool because you're going around this blind corner, and you know, if you don't know what's there, it might seem a little bit monk-ass, but it's always just a purple plate to send here. Oh, time is coming up very soon, so definitely be ready on it. It's in under 1 minute unless I die. I have lost runs this deep, by the way. I once lost a run right there to that wall. Don't know why. It, sucked a little bit, must say.
Aw. It's so funny how those losses just like stick with you. You look at the section and you're like, oh man, I remember that time.
Yeah. Trauma.
The drama.
All right, time is imminent when we land on the balcony. And time.
All right, nicely done, Allie.
Through. I think we're clear.
I couldn't heal him.
Gosh, I have to say, it is such a treat watching you speedrun this game. Like, it's such a cool speedrun. It's very acrobatic. It's very interesting to watch. Thank you so
kind.
much. Oh, stop. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. And what was the time?
The time, let me check. I got it up. It was 41:41.
Not bad at all for a marathon. That might even be a marathon PB, frankly.
Oh, heck yeah. We like to see marathon PBs. We'll
Yeah.
take those.
I know.
Well, Allie, do you have anything you'd like to add before we take it over to the next run?
I think I've said everything I had in my mind. Just thanks so much for having me, West Coast, Best Coast, once again. And
Oh, yeah.
it's always just an honor to do a run here. And thanks so much for having me.
For sure. And if you enjoyed this run, please make sure you follow emeraldaly here on Twitch, twitch.tv/emeraldaly. And we will be right back. We're going to set up for the next run, which is Willow for the NES. Stay tuned.